Fuck you for that video, by the way. Man, fucking hungry.
All right, you there, buddy?
Yeah.
Let's start off by talking about last week. Your team did well, my team did well, so but for overall we were really bad with picks. We both ended up 6-10. So I think there were some obvious upsets there. The Bills went down, the Chiefs went down. So those are the 49ers going down. I think was an upset. So missed on all of those. But we got some. You got the Titans over the Raiders. You got the Vikes instead of the Lions. The Eagles over the Redskins. I got the Jags over the Chargers. The Packers over the Bucs. You of course went to the Cowboys. So and that's where we're at. So anything that stands out from last week, looks like the Bills are running out of players. It's only week 4. The Bucs had no one to throw to, and now we know that Aaron Rodgers is better than Tom Brady when they have no wide receivers. And Cooper Rush has a quarterback controversy going in Dallas.
Oh. Is that it?
I think that's it.
Those are the highlights from last week?
Those are the highlights.
Well, let's start off with the Cowboys. As a Cowboy fan, I don't know, man. I'm a little torn, right? Cooper's winning, and Dak, broke his fucking thumb. Do you want to sit there and say, all right, well, are we going to be better when Dak gets back? Is the team just rallying and showing that support around Cooper? Like, hey, it's a professional game. A professional backup should win games. You want to look at all that, right? But there's a part of you as a Cowboys fan. And again, I'm speaking from, delusional Cowboys kind of fan thing. Right? You want to think and go, well, history's going to repeat itself, right? Like,
yeah, this is the next Tony Romo kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Does Cooper look good? He doesn't look bad, right? Does he look like he's just managing the team? No. He's making plays. He's throwing passes. He's not just managing, right? Now, did the defense play? Yeah, they played great, right? They played well. I mean, how many sacks do they have? I know they have, like 15 sacks in the last 3 games or some shit like that.
They're not doing bad in the sacking category. Or at least getting to the. I mean, and part of that's pressures, right? It doesn't really matter if you get home, but if you're getting pressure, that counts.
Well, we finally see D-Lar in his contract, right?
Yep.
Lawrence, fuck. You know how Jimmy is. You have one great. He scored 5 touchdowns. Let's give him $20 million. Let's lock him down for the next 5 years. He's be the next greatest thing, and then they're bust. And D. Lawrence is looking like he was headed that way, but fucking sacked crazy on Monday, which is great. So, anyways, controversy. Yeah, there's gonna be, man. Honestly, the Cowboy camp is divided. There's the ones that are definitely saying, "Fuck it, he's winning. Keep the hot hand in. He looks good." Dak can learn a lot from him. Then there's the other hand that's saying, "All right, one bad game and everyone's gonna be crying for Dak."
Yeah.
I agree that that's gonna happen, but
don't love the fact that Jerry said it, especially in week 2. Like, if Rush wins out, and of course Dak is moving the timetable up. He's like, I'm playing next week. So if doctors clear him, and Cooper gets, I don't know, one more game in, and he goes 3-0 in those games, maybe. If he goes 4-0, it's even worse, right? And at some point you go, well, this guy's got us 4 wins. It doesn't really matter how you ride that hot hand. So the Eagles did the Super Bowl a few years ago. Nick Foles hasn't done much outside of that season, so it happens. But I think Dak's a better quarterback, but Cooper would be cheap. So
Well, the offset of that is who's going to pick up Dak's contract, right? I think you will. I think you can. Okay, if Cooper shines, right? If this guy wins, what if they keep him in hot hand? This is like delusional territory for
mm-hmm.
sure. He wins the next. He wins us 14 games this season. Like holy fuck, right?
Yeah.
If you're gonna go delusional, you might as well go big. So he wins 14 games. I mean, at that point, yes, you're gonna be forced to keep Cooper Rush. What do you do with Dak? Well, he's not a backup quarterback, obviously, but can you trade him and get some? Yeah, he's trade bait for sure. There's gonna be teams coming for Dak. There is. So it could spearhead you into that next big trade, a la Herschel Walker back in the day, right?
Yeah.
You never know. I don't know. I guess we'll wait and see, man. But listen, everything comes down to earth eventually. So Cooper Rush is winning some games. You know what, man? Maybe he'll prove everybody wrong and keep winning. But I think Jerry Jones will keep him in there until he loses, and then it's like, we're gonna give Dak a chance now. It is what it is.
Yeah.
We'll see Dak soon.
My team. What do you think about the Jags? So I'm in the same delusional now. We're winning 15. We're going 15-1 or 16-1, Super Bowl bound. Might as well just punch the ticket. By my math, we beat the Colts 24-0, who beat the Chiefs, and then we beat the Chargers. So we're the best team in the league. I'm sure that'll wear off this week.
Let's go look at his stats, and then I'll tell you. Pull up fucking Sunshine. So first of all, fuck Sunshine. He made me look wrong. Very, very wrong. Pretty sure I talked a lot of shit about him.
Yeah, you did. There's some jersey signing part that yeah. I think he heard that. He was a little offended.
It is what it is. But all right, let's start off. First off, Robinson had a good day, right? I mean, 17 carries, 100 yards. Can't beat that.
Yeah,
it's not bad. It's a 10 and an A, whatever his name is, had 45 yards on 13 carries. So you know who the man is there. But still, I mean, rushing wise, it's 145 rushing yards in both of them. Sunshine went 28 for 39 with 263 touchdowns and no picks. That's a big one right there.
Yep.
That's not a bad day, right? I mean, shit, that's as good as some of the best quarterbacks out there. I'd like to see him in the 300 plus yards, but I mean, that's a pretty good day, right? He threw a whole bunch to everybody, it looks like. So, I mean, he spread the ball around. 3 different receivers, 3 different touchdowns. Not bad.
The word on the street is he last year was forced to make like the incredible throws. Like that's because he was in such a bad position that it was always third and forever. And what they're seeing this year is that he's learning how to make the throws that you have to make, the average throws, the 5-yarders, the 7-yarders that just keep the chains moving. And he's showing, after it looked like in week 1, I was like, man, this guy can't hit the broadside of a barn. But in week 2 and week 3, the accuracy's really popped up a bit, and that's what's exciting. The arm talent's there for sure. It's can you do it, consistently hit those 5-7 yard plays to keep the sticks moving. So it's exciting to see, and the defense is actually playing well.
Well, look at it this way. When do you ever really see a freshman quarterback, right? A rookie quarterback come into the NFL, just I'm the shit. Bum, 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 bum. I'm an awesome quarterback now. It's not a common thing, right?
Yeah.
So his freshman year, his 3rd year?
No, this is second.
Second year, yeah, my bad. So his freshman year sucked. Obviously. I mean, it didn't suck, but look, listen. The college game and the NFL game always obviously, 2 different speeds, 2 different fucking games, 2 different everything, right?
Yeah.
So he comes into the NFL, he's not going to be there yet. He's just not, man. Those are rare breed quarterbacks that come in, like Herbert. Herbert, his rookie year was pretty fucking good, but even he had issues, right?
Yeah. I mean, same with Burrows in Cincinnati. He did okay, but it didn't translate. Same with the Lilliputian Cardinal that I love.
Well, same with Dak. If you think about it, same with everybody you want to look at. Freshman year is hard. It's hard because you're look, you're a good quarterback, and they know that, and you're going to make some plays your freshman year, and you're going to be an average quarterback your freshman year because you're good. But that whole first year, you're learning the speed of the NFL. You're learning different reads, the technology, that everything is going to be so much fucking different, and you're getting caught up. And the next year, if you're a smart quarterback, the next year you're caught up on a lot of things, and guess what? You're a better quarterback, and that's what's happening. I mean, maybe I was wrong. I don't put a lot of stock in Sunshine, but he's making me a believer, sort of. Not true believer just yet. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, but he's getting me there. I mean, fuck, dude. Hey, man, he was a stud of a college quarterback, right? A stud of a high school quarterback. He's done. I actually watched him play an FBU game, a football university game in Texas with my football team. We had tickets to that. He played in the
Like live, not live and not Memorex, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah. So when he was in high school, man, senior year. So it's like a Northwest All-Star game in Texas, right? They invite people from all over the nation. But yeah, man. So he's always been a stud. Safe to say, there are some blow. They come in and they're just like, all right, you're a bomb, you're a dud, bye.
Yeah.
But he may not be that guy, man. I mean, he's making good reads, good throws. He's not a shit quarterback. And the Jaguars spent some money around him for sure, but they look good, bro. I mean, I think maybe they'll win some games.
Trend Daddy, thanks for the follow. Hannah, thanks for the bits. We got a question. Thoughts on the Dolphins? We do need to talk about him.
Is Fitzmagic still there?
He is not. It's Tua time in Miami.
Yeah, but Dolphins have always, like, the last 2-3 years, they've had a pretty good defense, right? Their defense surprises people for sure. Is it Tua time? I mean, look, they put weapons around him. That's for damn sure, right? Brought in Tyreek Hill. You've got the tight end there, Gesicki. I don't know how to say his last name, but
yes, he's a stud tight end. Yeah. Nerve, thanks for the follow. So Hill's the big question in chat is about Hill. Hill's amazing, which is amazing to me because I don't like those non-prototypical players. He's one of the few people that I've seen that's that height that it doesn't matter to wide receiver. He can get the deep ball, he can get the short ball. He's so explosive with yards after the catch. He's truly in a league of fast players. He's a new level of fast. Like, he's amazingly quick, amazingly fast. I love the fact that they put the piece around him. I'm still not sold on Tua. I am moving the Dolphins up. I still think the Bills are the class of the East, but the Dolphins are, as they showed last week, their defense is really good. Their skill positions are great. I'm just not sold on Tua. I don't know. This might be the year. Everyone's looking for him to prove that he's the man. He might do it. This last game that they played, he didn't outbeat Josh Allen. The Dolphins beat the Bills.
Look, I'm still not big on the Dolphins, and I'm definitely not big on a 13 of 18, 186, one touchdown performance day. So yeah. I'm not big on Tua. Tyreek Hill, Tyreek Hill's a great pickup on any team he goes to. He's Tyreek Hill. But there's someone else in Miami that I think overshadows him, or whatever you want to call it.
Waddle.
Waddle.
Yeah.
It's a bad dude. Now, that should translate into Tyreek Hill having big-time yardage, right?
Correct.
It's not happening quite yet, but it will. Tyreek Hill is going to get his. You know that. He's too great of a receiver. He's a great receiver. He's little, sure. He subscribes to the Little People book, like, what's his name from Arizona? But it don't matter. The little people with rocket speed, you know what I mean? Like, that's fast.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't play quarterback. He doesn't have to see over the line. He just has to catch the ball and run like the wind. So
the routes, bro. He's a route. Look, if you watch Tyreek Hill and the way he runs route, that's the biggest thing. That's what makes receivers stand out. In any level, it's the route running. Because the game of receivers is to get the guy off you, right? So you're trying to make him think you're going right when you're going left, and so on and so forth. Tyreek Hill is just so good at that. And then when he does burn you there, his speed just takes over, and you're 3 steps behind, and he's catching passes. So that'll come. I just don't think Tua's the guy to throw it to him. Still don't think so.
Yeah.
13, 18, 186, one touchdown. Shit. You put Tyreek Hill in a team with, like, Brady, Rodgers, Allen. Those guys are making him a freaking star.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not sold on Miami. I think the Bills beat the Bills, to be honest.
So one more question, then we'll go to the predictions for this week. So what do you think about Herbert getting injured will impact the Chargers? To me, I think it's short term. I mean, ribs hurt. It's going to be a period of time, 2-3 weeks. And then I think again, as long as he doesn't get further hurt by playing dumb, like he should not be in the fourth quarter of a 30-point blowout. That's just dumb coaching. As long as he doesn't get further hurt, I think he's going to be fine.
Listen, he still went 25 for 45, 297, a touchdown and a pick. So I mean, he played to his potential, right? Doesn't maybe a couple more touchdowns, whatever. I hate to say it, I don't think the injury impacted the Chargers as much that they didn't win that game. I just think the Jaguars outplayed them. I think the defense is where the Chargers are going to have problems. Herbert getting hurt, he played. He performed as good. He threw one pick, a touchdown, and 297 yards. Could you even tell if you didn't know he was hurt? Would you assume he's hurt with those stats? No. So I don't think the injury impacts the Chargers in any which way. I think they need to look at inside and look at their defense to fix something, because sunshine in his backyard football game just beat him.
Yeah, he had about 40 yards in the first chunk of the game. I want to say the first quarter. It was their all-time low, and then I think he got another injection and felt no pain after that point. But losing Bosa hurt bad. Like, they lost Bosa for the year. That's not going to help.
Correct. Defense. And let me tell you about those shots, buddy. I played my whole senior year with a very severely sprained ankle. I got shots before the game, shots at halftime, and nothing after the game.
Was it one of those ankles? It was at a 45-degree angle at all times.
Man, my ankle was screwed, but it was my senior year. I didn't want to miss senior year, right?
Yeah.
And I still suffer from that ankle, so sorry, Herbert. Moving on.
All right. Our first game is going to be the Dolphins and Tua time against the Bengals.
What a matchup, right?
Correct.
That's like, Burrows, Tua. I mean, that's going to be a good game. It really is. I think it will be, but look, Bengals are 1-2 right now. I know the Dolphins are 3-0 and, living on top of the world, and it's great. The offensive, I think the defense are ranked 13th. The offense is ranked 13th for Miami, 20th for the Bengals. Defense are both 20th, whatever. Passing, Dolphins are 4th and Bengals are 14th. Rushing 31st for the Dolphins and 20th for the Bengals. Like, all right. The Bengals defense should be able to hold Tua down. Look, the thing about Tua, man, he makes plays, but his stats suck. I think that if you run into a team with a better defense, you're in trouble. Do the Bengals have that defense? I don't think so necessarily. But I think Burrows is due, man. Like that, he's a heck of a quarterback, right? I think it's time that he shines, and I think that it's going to be a shootout, to be honest, again. And I think that this time, though, the Cincinnati Bengals are going to take it by a touchdown or so. I don't believe in Tua, by the
way. That's very obvious.
Well, I would use the word, but you told me that I could no longer trust very much. So I'm holding back. Just so everybody knows, I'm rationing my F-bombs.
So
4 more for the night.
It's at Cincinnati, so that's a bonus. It's against the Dolphins, so I think here's my take. I think the problem that the Bengals are going to have all year long is that offensive line. I've said it since the beginning. If he gets time to throw, he will eat you alive. If he doesn't get time to throw and that line is bad, he's not going to do well. This Dolphins defense is good. They are going to get in his face. The Dolphins offense is explosive. They may not, Tua might get 18 pass attempts, but if he hits, 2-3 home runs, he's in. I think you've got the Bengals team's more desperate. They need to win this more than the Dolphins, who are, perfect right now. But I think their defense is too much. I think Miami's going to lay them out. And if that's the case, then, 1 or 2 explosive plays. And they're just, Miami looks like that team this year, that can win in those crazy games like the Ravens games. They had no reason winning that game. Like the Ravens had the thing locked up. So I'm going to go with the Ravens.
I'm glad you're going with the Ravens, but the Ravens aren't playing in this game.
Well, I'm going with the Dolphins in this case. So I'll go with the Ravens later. So I've got Ripper with the Bengals
Yep.
and Warty with the Dolphins.
Where did Tua go to college?
University of Alabama.
Yeah, I know. LSU, Alabama, baby. You know who's going to win that one. What happened the last time?
Oh yeah, but there was a lot of other time. Well, I don't know they played that many. They played in the SEC a lot of times, and it did not happen that way.
Well, still going Burrows.
All right, our next game is going to be the Falcons. Oh, the Vikings at the Saints.
Vikings and Saints. So, this is a good one. I mean, not a good one, and it's gonna be a great game. Man, you want to sit here and say, "Well, that team's gonna do great because that quarterback's awesome." But then you remember you're talking about the Saints and the Vikings, and neither one of them has a quarterback you think is fucking great. You got Winston on one side who can't see shit apparently, and you got Cousins on the other side who can see plenty of players, he's just not his own. So a battle of which quarterback does worse, I guess.
Correct.
That's what it's gonna think. I mean, shit, man. Cousins is what? He's at 62%. Ugh. On his completion to attempt rate. Damn, that's bad. 758 yards, 5 touchdowns, 3 picks. Look, I always look at that in a quarterback. How many touchdowns have they thrown? How many picks? Bro, come on. 5 TDs, 3 picks. That's not a very good amount, if you ask me.
But he's going to get against Mr. 50.
Well, Mr. 50. Look, you would think the Vikings, with all their weapons, man, they've got, Cook. They've got Jefferson. They've got Thielen, who's still a good core. They got their tight end has kind of been showing up. Was it Irv Smith, right? Is that what they have?
Yeah.
So they're not looking bad, bro. And on the
junior.
other side, though, Winston is Winston, right? He's at 63.5%. He has 4 TDs with 5 picks. Remember that.
If you threw in the interceptions, he'd be at 75%, maybe 80.
There you go. So Kamara hasn't really shown up this season yet, which upsets the shit out of me because I have him in 3 leagues.
Only 3?
They have a rookie that's doing pretty good, Olave, and I drafted him a lot. I probably drafted him. I said a lot about that kid. And so, wait, who was it that told me? But they have, what's his name? That was you.
It probably was.
They told me about Landry, man.
Well, you're also the same person who drafted 3 Bills running backs, so give me a break.
Yeah, I was making sure I got the right one, and apparently I dropped 2 and kept 1, so I kept the right one. Fuck you. Anyway, shit, there goes 2.
You're at your limit.
So anyways, long story short, before it gets too long-worded, I think that it is going to come down to which quarterback makes the worst mistakes. And in this case, I think that Cousins has bad game, good game, bad game, good game, bad game, good game. I'm not sure if we're on a good game. Did they lose last week?
No, they won.
Oh, shit.
That's where I'm worried about.
If Kamara comes to play this week, man, it's hard to go against the Saints over the Bengals. I'm going to say the Saints on this one. I think Kamara plays. I think despite Winston, Kamara makes some good plays because he's due. And he's going to be the reason they win. Because Cousins apparently can't throw to one of the best receivers in the NFL. But he can definitely find the secondary of the opposing team.
Yeah. If you had to, if someone was like, you have to bet on a game, this is high up on the I wouldn't want this one to be at. So,
it's definitely a coin flip, right?
Yeah, these are, and that's what's amazing about the NFL is there's so many coin flip games right now. This is definitely one, and you can almost draw it down to quarterbacks, right? There are a handful of elite quarterbacks that are able to persevere against whatever kind of team they have around them, and then there's ones like Cousins. I mean, again, we talked about him in week 1. I understand. You just get a feeling when he's got the ball in his hands. It's not, oh, that's a good thing. You're actually rooting as a Vikings fan for, hey, can we have the other guy have the ball and make a mistake? And the same thing with Winston, right? When you had Drew Brees, you're like, oh, we're going to go down and win the game. With Winston, you're like, we're going to take a 10-10 game and make it where Tampa beats the tar out of us at the end. So um, with all that being said, you have to pick a team. And I'm going to pick the Vikings because the Saints have burned me a couple times. So you're going Saints?
Well, yeah, think about it. What a shit game we have to pick from. My choice is which quarterback makes the least mistakes. And that's shitty to say, right? It's not about, hey, who's going to play the better game. I'm not saying the better game. It's who's going to play the least worst game.
Yeah, that's
Saints.
Saints across the board.
Yo, you're going with the Saints? I thought you were going with the Vikings.
No, I'm going with Saints. I don't trust Cousin. I'm gonna go with you.
Oh, how cute.
I probably shouldn't have, but that's okay.
The Vikings are going to score like fucking 8 touchdowns.
Well, and it's important to remember they don't have Dalvin Cook too.
Yeah, but Madison has filled in pretty well.
Yeah. True.
I should have picked him up the other day.
Next up we got Cleveland and Atlanta.
Good old Cleveland and Atlanta.
Yeah.
Look, Cleveland has. Look, you can't disregard the fact that Cleveland has a great running game. That's true. Chubb is tearing it up. He's at 62 attempts, 41 yards, 4 touchdowns. Hunt has 36 for 151 and a touchdown. I mean, that's a lot of freaking yardage, right? For 3 weeks. That's 500 yards, just about.
Mm-hmm.
Around there, close to 492, whatever. That's almost 500 yards and 5 touchdowns in 2 weeks. Man,
when you have to run the ball.
Well, yeah, but are they stopping it?
No.
You're still at that, right? I mean, yeah, they know they're going to run the game, the damn ball, because they have to, because, they have Jacoby Biscuit, and they're still 2-1, right? They're not losing games. Biscuit is throwing enough passes, I guess, to get the job done, sort of. He's at 66%, but look, here's the big thing. 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. So he's managing the game well enough and letting his running game do what they need to do, and throwing enough little first down passes on 3rd and longs here and there, whatever, to keep the game rolling and keep their teams ahead. So, yeah, man, they don't look too bad. They're the number 1 rushing team in the NFL right now, aren't they? I believe so. Yes, we're going to go with yes. But they don't look bad at all. Now, on the flip side of that, can he throw the ball? Well, the top receiver they have is Cooper, who has 19 receptions, 219 yards, and 2 touchdowns in 1 game in 3 weeks. So it's not great. And the Njoku has 13, 128, and a touchdown. But man, didn't he do that all in like 1 game?
Yeah, almost? 1 game. Thank you. And I had him last week in one of the leagues, and I was quite happy.
Well, I mean, look at that. So they know they're not. Now, can the Falcons defense stop the run? I guess that's going to be the big deal, right? I don't think so. I think that you have Hunt, and he's just for Biscuit a great check down option, right?
We can't call him Brisket. I'm sure we can't.
But honestly, if the Falcons can stop the run, which I don't think they can, they do great. On the flip side, you have the Falcons. You have Mariota, and Marionetti there has 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Not doing great. He does have 640 yards, 62% completion. Patterson, obviously, come on now, 49 attempts, 302 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not bad for 3 games either, right? Your second best rusher on that team, though, is Mariota. I don't know, man. Look, Mariota to me has never been that big NFL quarterback that's going to do freaking great, right? Obviously, he would have been somewhere else. I think that the Falcons were like, oh, well, Matty Ice is gone, and we can't get Dak Prescott yet because the Cowboys aren't trading him yet. So we're going to go with Mariota.
And the Browns haven't got all the quarterbacks that are going to come there to die. So we'll take this guy.
I think the Browns, the running game, dude, what it does, it takes a lot of clock down, man. You can see by the attempts that Chubb has 62 freaking attempts, bro. In 3 games, I mean, that's the average, well, at least 20 attempts a game, right? 20.3 something, or I don't know what the fuck you want to call it, but let's say 20 attempts a game. That's a lot for a running back in the long spectrum of things. I don't think they stopped the running game. I know that the Falcons have Cordell Patterson, and man, that guy was reborn a running back, and he looks so great, right? Because after so many shit years as a receiver, or special or return man or whatever you want to call him, switch to running back. He's great. I think that the Browns running game was too much. The Browns defense is really where you should be looking at, man. I think their defense is tough.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with the Browns on this one. I don't think the Falcons have enough firepower, aside from Patterson, to stop them. Now, they also have a badass rookie in London, by the way. But yeah, Browns it is for me.
So you said it. You said it last time. The Browns are. So the Browns have what looks to be a top 5 defense. They're both good against the run and the pass. They can run the ball, and you've got a quarterback that's not throwing, picks to hurt the cause or turn the ball over. On the flip side, you got the Falcons, who have a much worse defense. They're in the bottom half of the league. They don't really have a superstar like Hunt and Chubbs. So even if you go average on, same quarterbacks, better running game in Cleveland, better defense in Cleveland, they should win this one. The Falcons, honestly, for their talent pool, the Falcons are being dogged, right? They're hanging in the games that they shouldn't be. But no, they're not. They're not. I'm going to win with the Browns.
The Falcons had a better quarterback. I'd believe in them a little more.
Correct.
But they don't.
So Browns across the board.
Uh-oh.
So this is your game next. Which is, let's start off with, it's an NFC. What's the opinion on the Bengals offense? The Bengals offense is terrible offensive line. If they can fix the line, they would have a great offense, as they showed in the path to the Super Bowl last year. That was from chat. That's my take. Anyhow.
Well, if the Bengals aren't, if Burrow's not on his ass all day, they're going to do great.
Correct.
That's my take.
All right, so you got Washington coming to Dallas, and the Cooper Rushathon.
Do I still have F-bombs left?
Say what?
Do I still have F-bombs left? No?
Yeah.
All right. The Commandos. I'm an NFC Cowboy fan, man. I hate everybody else in the NFC. You know that.
Correct.
Now, do you want delusional, or do you want, okay?
This is your homer pick, so there is no like.
Well, you already know I'm picking the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Start with that. And that, look, the Redskins, bro. It's Wentz, right? You don't want to believe in him, but man, the guy, here's the deal with Wentz. You know what he is, man? He's that prom date that's hot as F. You go to the prom with her, and man, she's wearing that dress, and you're like, oh, and she's just leading you on big time, and oh, this and this and that, and you're like, thinking you're gonna hit that later, and she's like, oh, well, sorry, I'm on my period. Fuck.
That's one of the F-bombs.
So that's what Wentz is, right? He leads you on the whole way. He looks good, and then it's like, yeah, next, 10 games, I'm gonna start throwing 3 picks a game.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now his stats are great. He's 60% completion rate. Okay, fine. But he's 861 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 3 picks. I mean, damn, that's not bad, honestly. For 3 games, that's 1 pick an average game. Come on, every quarterback throws picks here and there. But that's not bad for 7 touchdowns, right? He's got a running game that's running game in Washington's it's okay. Gibson's only got 40 attempts for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not the greatest. Right, that's great if he has 1 game, but that's not great for 3 games. This guy has 57 yards, and that's Wentz, so you really can't count those. He's got some good receivers though. McLaurin and Samuel they're pretty damn good, bro. I mean, they're guys that run routes while they're guys that. I mean, look at McLaurin, 12 receptions, 235 yards, and 1 touchdown. I mean, for 12 receptions, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Good receivers. You want to say everything good, and then you look at them going, well, you know, you're just waiting for the Washington Redskins to show up. And what I mean by that is they haven't been great in a while. I think their problem in Washington is the same problem the Cowboys have. It's the ownership. Honestly, they both have, billionaire owners that are delusional as F and, think that they know everything about football. If it was up to Jerry, he'd be calling the plays, bro. He probably sends plays to McCarthy. Hey, guy, I wrote up some plays on my napkin. So the owner in Washington is kind of the same way. He's delusional as shit. And I just don't think that team is what everybody thinks it is. Wentz looks good. They're still just 1-2, and the Cowboys are on freaking fire right now. This isn't just illusional. Defensively, the Cowboys look good. They're rushing the quarterback, Parsons, Lawrence. If those two guys get going, which they are now, you're in trouble, man. That's a lot for two great guys. It's a lot to have coming at you. I do not think Washington stops them. The Washington defense is also ranked pretty low. The rushing is ranked low, so think about that. If you can't run against the Cowboys, are you really going to pass against them with D. Lawrence and Parsons coming at your ass? Hell no. So this game, I don't even have to say much to the Cowboys. I don't think I'm being very delusional. The fact is the fact. If you look at the stats, Cowboys just look better. Yeah, we had that contrary, Cooper Rush, blah, blah, blah. But he only has 2 touchdowns of 514 yards, but that's in 2 games, right? 2 touchdowns suck. Cowboys don't look great offensively. They got some good little highlights there, like Noah Brown. But their defense just stands out. And I think by the end of the season, their defense is going to be top 10 for sure, top 5 maybe. So defense wins games, and I'm going to go with the Cowboys. And that's not just delusional. Delusional would see the Cowboys by 18 touchdowns. But I'm going to be cool and say 12 touchdowns.
Cowboys 211, Redskins 3. These are NFC East games, which to me are in those buckets of things you don't want to pick, because I've seen a terrible Cowboys team go to a Super Bowl champion Redskin team and whoop them, and vice versa. Like you just there's these games are one of those. It's almost like in college football where you don't have to win any of the games, but you have to win that last one against your in-state rival. Um, so I've seen these two teams play just so many games, and you never know what's going to happen. And you're right on Wentz. Would I like to have him as a quarterback? Hell no. He is inconsistent. You can see why the Eagles moved on. Um, but in my opinion, looking at the stats, I think the Redskins D and the Dallas D are neck and neck. They're really close to each other, and I think the Redskins offense with Wentz is better than the Cowboys offense with Rush. Um, and I have a feeling the Redskins, I feel that last week was too many emotional things in a row for the Cowboys, and you eventually run out. You get exhausted. Whereas the Redskins have had the opposite. They won the first one and then they're kind of beaten down. So I think the Redskins are going to take this one. Just a feeling. This is again. I think it's a coin toss. I think it's a pretty close one.
NFC East challenges, they're always good when they play each other. Whether it's the Giants, the Redskins, they're always games, right? But yeah, you're right, man. That's going to be a good one. But Cowboys still win.
And I hope you're right.
F the Commanders.
The Seattle Seahawks against the Detroit. I dislike Detroit. I can never understand who's going to come to play for Detroit. So yeah, they're playing at Detroit.
Well, here's why, and this is a big one. The Detroit Lions should lose, and here's why they're going to win. One, Americanicus St. Brown, he's going to tear it up if he was playing. I don't think he's going to play this game. Isn't he injured? I think he's injured. He may not play. Without him, they lose a dynamic receiver, which I was big on pre-draft fantasy football.
I do recall that
everywhere I could,
and he was available just about everywhere.
Some people say, "Why are you picking him?" All right. G Swift is out too. Williams did fill in great. He's a bigger back. He's a good back. I think he'll be all right. That's why they kind of should win. Now, St. Brown's not playing, so that could hurt. If he does play, great. Swift is out, but Jamal's a good, Williams is a good, sub in. The reason they lose, though, again, another Mister Inconsistent. I know he went to all that. I mean, well, he didn't even play for a Super Bowl team, but Jared Goff, 748 yards, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I'm waiting just like Wentz. Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? It's gonna come. It is. I know he ended the season well, but Goff eventually will be Goff, and the passes will start becoming interceptions instead of touchdowns. Is it this game though? It's too early in the season. Um, if Amenek and Sam Brown is still there, I think they win, but I believe he's out. Now, Seahawks. That's the reason the Lions are gonna win. The Seahawks. Not big on what's his name at 717 yards, sure, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks, but
You don't like the Smith, the Geno?
no, their rushing game is non-existent. They have two great receivers that haven't done much. Seattle Seahawks just don't look good, man. They don't across the board. They just don't look good, and it wasn't because Russell's not there. I just think they've just lost so much, right? I think a part of it is time to get rid of that coach. To be honest, it's time he goes back to college football. I think they should have fired him after not running.
That's so you're telling me that when you have one of the best running backs in the league and you're on the 1 yard line, not to punch it in?
I mean,
you should go for something fancy, maybe a razzle dazzle.
well, it's like I told my OC in youth football. First year I use an OC because he's one of my ex players and I'm coaching him up. But he's so big on the spread, right? And that's what he played in high school, so that's what he knows, and blah 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 blah. So spread with him. Great. What happens when you're 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 4th and 1? You're gonna run the ball from fucking 6 yards back. You're gonna pass for that first down. Well, yeah, there's this and that play. Cool. We lost 9-0 this weekend. Couldn't convert a 4th down out of spread. Now could we?
Mm-mm.
Anyways, power game is there. I have point being, you're right. The coach sucks, bro. I know I got sidetracked, but the coach sucks. If you can't be smart enough,
just to be clear, is that the OC or the story back to the Seahawks coach?
Seahawks. I don't think they're very well coached. I think the team is not where they need to be. I think that Seattle Seahawks are going to have a horrible fucking season. Damn it, sorry. I think they win maybe 4 games this season, honestly. And I believe that they're going to have a tough season. I think the Lions are still good. Eventually, Jared Goff will be Jared Goff. But right now, the Lions have a great running game. They have a great fucking receiver. Damn it. And they'll be fine. They'll be fine. So, Lions, yes.
Yeah, the Seahawks are just not. They're and this comes with success, right? Like, the NFL is designed for parity, and if you have a super team, you have to pay players more. That eats up your cap. People leave. You have to make decisions. People age, so on and so forth. And unless you are in the draft, like what Belichick did amazingly for all those years, is he kept getting like second, third rounders and getting those core pieces that nobody talks about. Like, if you look at the Seahawks, it's a perfect example why. Metcalf is a stud, right? Lockett has been a pretty good one. Their running backs are pretty decent, but they don't have all those ancillary pieces like an offensive line, a defensive line, linebackers, like that front 7 on the defense. And then on top of that, they also don't have a quarterback anymore that can light up the world on fire. At least in that system, he's not doing it in Denver, but so defections have just sapped that team. On the flip side, the Lions seem like one of those crazy teams because, Golf got to a Super Bowl. Now, was that a great team? Yes, but he still got there. Like, and it's hard to go. I guess the difference between being good and great in the NFL is doing it consistently every Sunday. And there's some quarterbacks, and Golf is one of them, that just can't do it. And I guess there's nothing wrong with that. It's just how people are built, right? Like, some days you're feeling it, the ball's coming out, you're hitting your reads, everything's going exactly like the game plan. And then there's some quarterbacks that when the game plan goes awry, they fall apart. And he's one of those guys. So I don't love golf, but if I had to, this is once again the Lions are a better team than the Seahawks, so I'm gonna go with the better team in this case, which is in my opinion the Lions.
Like I said, or the real Slim Shady, please stand up.
Well, and the interesting thing, if you're a Lions fan, you're going. There's a few teams, Rodgers, the Bucs, with Brady. There's a few teams that have their quarterbacks and they know they're they know they have a franchise quarterback. Then there's a few teams that are hoping, like the Jags are one of them. Then there's teams like the Lions where I'm pretty sure they know he's not. And you're like, when do how do you reset it? Like, the Jets did it a few years ago with Darnell. It's you need to be in a position to draft a quarterback or one of the premier quarterbacks, which quite frankly it depends on the year and it depends on the position, but it's not like they grow on trees. So
you're saying the Seahawks will be top 5 draft pick.
I will say that, and then they will, for them, they're probably going to pick a franchise quarterback or what they think is a franchise quarterback. For the Lions, the worst thing you can do is finish 8-8 or 9-8, and not get a shot at that, and then another year of golf, because it's not gonna, I just don't see him taking him to the promised land.
He's done it once before.
He did not win it though.
No.
All right. Next up, we got the Titans versus the number 1 team in the AFC, the Indianapolis Colts. I jumped off the. Did you notice as I jumped off the bandwagon, like they started rallying? Damn it!
Hey, they're 1-1-1.
It's very symmetrical.
Yes. No. Listen, I'm still not loving the Colts. All right. They still have Matty Ryan, who has 3 touchdowns and 4 picks. Look, if you got more picks and touchdowns at this point, you're not my quarterback. Taylor, 61 attempts, 286 yards and 1 touchdown. Pittman looks good. I get it. So does Dublin. I get it. They don't look too bad, but where have they been, right? Like, I just don't think Matty Ice is the man, period. I still don't think it. I won't think it. I didn't think it anymore when he was 8 years in Atlanta. I think, after Tom Brady said, hold my beer and let me beat your ass even though you have a big lead, I think it did something to him, bro. I don't think he's ever going to be the same quarterback. He's old school quarterback, bro. Let's be honest. He is. Tom Brady is too, but Tom Brady sold his soul to the devil, so different story. But old school in the sense, like, he's not like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers moves, he's different. Matty Ice is that
pocket statue in the pocket, yeah.
Yeah. Prototypical big guy that stands in that pocket. Your Troy Aikman kind of quarterback, right? I mean, that's what he is. It is what he is. But that's kind of old school for the NFL now, is it not?
Totally.
That's the shit that's fading away. It's just not. I don't know, man. He's a rare breed, I guess. But I don't think the Colts have good leadership when it comes to that quarter. I think that, look, when the shit comes down and the kind of speed you're getting now at defensive ends and DTs and all that, you got to move, bro. You got to move. And Matty Ice isn't that guy. On the flip side of things, neither is Tannehill. Right? I mean, he's got
in a foot race. I think no one wins. Like, we all age out and that's it.
Correct. So I'm waiting for D. Henry, right? That he's gonna explode. That's all the Titans have. They don't have a real passing game. I love Robert Woods. I've always been big on Robert Woods, but
he's 100 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's just, they really don't have a receiver on the Titans. You say, oh, that's gonna make a difference. And then even if they did, you look at Tannehill going, well, so we're running the ball. It's just not there. It's not there on either team, to be honest. The Colts have the better running back at this point, stat wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the Titans really have the better running back. As soon as he starts, I don't know, they're both good, but D. Henry's gonna explode. Is it against the Colts? Maybe. It's hard to say, right? I know this is a weird game. This is another flip coin for me because both teams kind of suck in my book. Neither one of them has a great defense where you say, like, wow, that defense is great. I think both teams will run the ball because neither team can throw the ball very well. I think that if the Titans can get to Matty Ice, they'll have to rely on their run game, which will allow the Titans to stop the run game, but the Titans can't stop shit. So yeah, it's going to come down to who's the running back scores more touchdowns. And in this case, and you heard it here, Derrick Henry's going to have a breakout game against the Colts. He's going to have like at least 150 some yards and a couple of touchdowns. And the Colts will still win the game because Tannehill sucks. I'm kidding. No, the Titans win this one, honestly. I just don't believe in the Colts. I still don't believe in the Colts. One win don't mean shit. I know you were big on them. I still think they're a bad team. And I'm going to go with the Titans on this one because Matty Ice is old.
So I jumped off the bandwagon. So what I think I missed that I shouldn't have missed was that you've spent it forever in one system and you've now changed. So I think his problem was that. And what I noticed in some of the games where the offensive line wasn't, you got players that are that line is great. That is that's the highest paid line in the league, and they were making rookie mistakes, like bad ones. And it comes down to, was it the 14-time Pro Bowl center or the new quarterback that messed it up? And it's him. It was Ryan that was messing up the protections. Those little things take time to get. And I remember you saw it with Stafford, you saw it with Brady. All those quarterbacks who come over, you're going to see it with, I think you're seeing it with Wilson too. Those new quarterbacks, when they come over, and especially from a different system than what they're used to, they have to learn that cadence, who's blocking who, what the different nuances are in the routes. And a professional like Ryan is going to pick it up. And I think he's starting to pick it up because let's face it, the Chiefs team is a really good team. And for them to win against that Chiefs team, even to be in the ball game, and let's not sugarcoat it. The Chiefs gave them that game. They had a lot of turnovers. Their punting units and kicking units gave away 2 or 3, just point blank shots. But at the end of the day, the Colts won a game on turnovers and the fact that Ryan actually looked better at the end, and he's showing progress every week, which is what you want to see. If he's, because at the end of the day, if you've got the number one line, a good defense, Jonathan Taylor, and then Matt Ryan throwing the ball, the thought is you're going to be good. On the flip side, the Titans' calling card is running the ball and stopping the run, and they can't do either right now. And you're right, Tannehill is not going to be. You don't want Tannehill throwing 50 passes a game because, number one, he's got basically the ghost of Robert Woods, and that's it. Their defense is terrible, though, not only on the run but also on the pass. I think Ryan's going to have a career day. I think he's going to get over those things that he had, and I think it's a stepping stone. I think they're going to be. I don't know that they're going to be the top team in the AFC, but I think they're going to be one of the better teams. So I'm going Colts.
I'm going Titans. I think Henry rules the day, controls the clock, 200 plus yards, 3 touchdowns. It went up. The Titans.
Chicago at the Giants. The formerly undefeated Giants that were dethroned.
They didn't look great either, to be honest. I think that the Bears are going to take the script from the Cowboys game. They're going to come at what's his name, Long John Silver, the quarterback, D Jones,
Justin Fields. Oh, Daniel Jones.
Yeah, you forget these guys. Yeah, do I really want to spend time putting shitty quarterbacks in my memory? No, I don't. Shitty quarterback. I'm not impressed by him. 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
He ran like the wind.
He did. He had to. He was being chased by Cowboys. Of course he did. I think that the Bears will play the same script. I think the Bears have a good defense that's going to come after them, and it's going to be a problem. The only thing for the Bears, though, is, they got a quarterback that sucks. 51% completion. He's got 2 TDs and 4 interceptions. 297 yards in 3 freaking games. That's some crazy stuff right there. 297 yards and 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Come on, bro. He is the JV quarterback. Now you got Herbert, who just had a breakout game and looks great, and so on and so forth. I believe in that. I do think he's going to be a good running back. They've got Amenikwa St. Brown's brother, the other Egyptian receiver that's pretty good. Is that what you call him, the Egyptian
Yes.
receiver?
Well, that was
All right.
more like the Egyptian gods kind of thing. Yes.
Oh, he's good too. But what is the point in having a great? And you can tell he is a good receiver. But look at his stats: 4 receptions, 77 yards. You know why that is? Because your quarterback's only thrown for 297 yards in 3 freaking games. Yeah, he has 2 touches and 4 picks. The defense is going to come after the Giants. They will, but that's just stopping Jones. I don't think they're going to stop Barkley. Barkley is going to have a big game against the Bears, and I'll tell you why. Because
He's a beast.
he's an animal, yes. I think Jones will check down to him and that he'll make his plays. I think the Bears, it'll be a good game, but I think this game's going to end like something 17-10, bro. And it's going to be like that because the Bears can't score points, man. They just can't. Herbert will run one in. It'll be great. You'll get a field goal, but Fields is Fields, bro. Oh my God, can he be any shittier than other ones? Honestly, he's not a good quarterback. 297 yards, 2 touchdowns. That experiment goes bye-bye. I think that's like, all right, well, this is who we have. What else can we do, right? Who else do we have at quarterback? We can get Trubisky back, but he's in Pittsburgh. Should we call what's his name Cutler back in the day? That's
Yes.
not going to happen, right? Like they have Fields, and that's what they have now. That experiment will end soon enough. That guy will end up being a backup or maybe a running back or something later on in the NFL. But yeah, the Bears are defensively great. They're just not enough to stop the Giants, and I think the Giants win this one. Is that enough for an explanation?
Yeah. Yeah.
That Bears D line though, pretty stout.
So the Bears are like number two, number three. I mean, they're a really good defense, really good. And it's getting wasted on this quarterback, which you go. The Bears have never had a quarterback. Like even the Super Bowl win wasn't because of McMahon; it was because of that defense. So um, it's a shame for them. On the flip side, you've got Barkley and Jones, who should be able to run for enough yards to win the game, right? Like, I mean, Barkley, he looks like a beast. Um, Fields, I mean, all last year he threw less than 2,000 yards. This year he's on pace. I mean, what? Do the math real quick. We're talking. I mean, it's again less than 2,000 yards. That's not gonna win. I mean, in the NFL, you are not gonna win games that way. I don't care how fast you are. So, enough said with that one. This is
Well, one quick thing though. Yeah, the defense is great, but what happens to the defense when they get tired?
oh yeah.
They're gonna be on the field
That's
so
more of a.
much.
It's a shame. It's a great defense that is going to be wasted
Yeah.
on an anemic offense that is literally. I mean, this is. We're talking territory never seen since like the '60s, right? This is seriously. You're not even throwing the ball. Like so. Um, yeah, not good.
Playing Wildcat all day with a quarterback that's really a running back.
And it would almost be. You're almost. I'm almost would sign up to see that. Just throw it like you're not going to win conventionally. So do something crazy like that. Like have 5 running backs, and at least then you're not turning the ball over because that's what'll kill. Like you said, the defense is what you're just going out there and your offense is going 3 and out. Like they're going to quit even though they're professionals. At some point, you're like, come on, man. So I'm going with the Giants.
Me too. Another one.
So this is my homer game. So it's the Jags playing the Philadelphia Eagles, which I know you want us to win this one for you.
Well, I hate the NFC East. The Eagles are 3-0. The Jags again. Sunshine's not looking like the JV quarterback I said he was going to be this week, or the last week, anyways. Look, the Jags look good. They do, but I hate to say it, and I know they're your homer game. I just look. I'm not sold on Sunshine, bro. Cut his hair, make him look like a real dude, like a real quarterback. I might be, but the long hair to me spells loser. Not because he has long hair, it's just because it's Sunshine. He looks like he's 19 years old and he's about to go buy, a Kit Kat at the store with his little long hair on a skateboard, right? But he does have 6 touchdowns and 1 pick, 772 yards. So I think I'm helping you. The more shit I talk about Sunshine, the better he does.
He's
So
got a direct line to this Twitter
I'm
feed.
being your friend right now.
Yeah,
I'm doing it for you.
I appreciate that.
No problem. Now, on the flip side of all that shit, Sunshine looks good. Robinson looks good. The team looks good. The problem, your defense isn't like, oh my god, great. They're not. They're not a bad defense. The flip side of that is the Eagles, right? Now, the problem for the Eagles, and I would say it, and now it's like I'm looking like an asshole with this one too. I think Jalen Hurts isn't all that, but the guy's got 916 freaking yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 pick. Not bad, right? I mean, more touchdowns would be nice, but geez, that's a pretty good stat line right there. Sanders, 45 rushing attempts, 222 yards. Your next best running back is Hurts with 167 yards and 3 touchdowns. They have Brown, who is a great receiver. Smith ain't doing bad either. It's a good freaking team. Now, who have they played, right? That's what you're going to ask yourself. I think overall, they played enough, 3 games enough to show that their offense can move the ball, score points. No matter who you're playing NFL teams.
Yep.
I think that so have the Jaguars. I mean, they started to show some stuff and started to show that they can move the ball as well. I just don't think the defense for the Jaguars will stop Hurts. Hurts is I'm going to give it up. I hate it because he's in the NFC East, but I think Hurts is going to be a dynamic player in the NFL. I think he's somewhat along what little people from Arizona is. The only problem is that Hurts is what, like 7 inches taller?
Yeah. He can't be in the Lilliputian Empire.
And he's only 6'1".
Yeah.
But yeah, Hurts is a dynamic football player, bro. He's a good quarterback. He's that dual threat quarterback who can throw and run, obviously, right? He's the Patrick Mahomes. I just think that decision making sometimes for Hurts, it'll come out. You'll see eventually. He hasn't been there yet. I think his coach has been calling a good game to limit the mistakes that Hurts will eventually make. But man, this is a running back playing quarterback that runs like a running back and throws like a quarterback. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So honestly, I think Philadelphia takes this one. Sorry, I know Sunshine's your boy. Look, if Jaguars prove me wrong in this game, I will not pick against them the whole fucking season. I still will. But if they prove me wrong, I'll stop calling Sunshine a little girl.
So this is the game, right? So this is what I see. We lead the league in interceptions. We've got the most turnovers now, and that was a year after we had hardly any turnovers. That's something that's a little bit of chance, like turnovers. And you can have a great defense that just doesn't get the turnovers. Right now, they're coming in bunches and they're giving opportunities. I don't know if it will continue, but what I would hope is that if you shut down Hurts, what is left? And the rest of that Eagles team doesn't scare me. On the flip side, you got Doug Peterson wants to win this game. He wants to be like, I left. I'm the better coach. You should have never let me go. And I think the Jags are the Eagles are 3-0. They're sitting pretty. They've got an AFC team that they don't know. That's the sucky old Jaguars coming in. I think the Jags, again, it's not sometimes who you play, it's when you play them. I think this is a good time for us to come in and sneak a win. I think they're starting to believe. I think our run game is there. I think our Lawrence is showing up in the passing game, and the defense is keeping things where they need to be. The 1 week, week 1 game went down, and hopefully that's not a to of what this game's going to be like. But I think we can win if we shut down Hurts, which I think we can do. So I'm going to do the homer pick. It's what it is. What it is. I think this is. If you told me 4 games in we'd be 2-2, I'd been tickled pink either way. So this is almost with house money as far as I'm concerned. I know they don't feel that way, but if they get to 3-1, this actually might be one of those years you hit the playoffs, which hasn't happened very much. So
I'm gonna break your heart.
Go Jags.
I'm gonna give this one a stupid effing pick. The Eagles are gonna beat the turd out of the Jaguars. Sorry, baby.
It could happen.
Or my shit's gonna work. I talk trash and they win.
And then there'll be
Either
another
way, I'm a
video.
winner.
It'll be great.
Win-win. My pick's right, or I make you happy. There
Yeah.
you go.
All right, we got the Jets.
So we're just skipping this one, right?
The Jets, the Steelers.
Oh boy, do I have to?
Mm-hmm.
No. I mean, look. Sorry, I had drinking something.
You're fine.
It. If they were NFL flexing, this game would probably get flexed. You want to
Get flexed out, like out of the.
Yeah, we're gonna show it, but I went to eat breakfast and forgot to turn on the video. Right, like that kind of game. Look, I like the Jets, bro. I always have. Like they're not like, oh, that's my second team, but I like rooting for the Jets. I always have. I don't know, maybe because Mark Sanchez was a quarterback once and I'm Hispanic. I don't know. I've always liked the Jets. I liked it when they had what's his name there, damn it, the Buddy Brothers. What's his? I can't remember names right now because I never remember shit. You know what I'm talking about? Big coach, white hair.
Rex
His
Ryan?
brother, yes, and his brother with a fucking big beard looks like a fat Santa Claus. Well, Santa Claus.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but yeah. The Ryan kids.
Right. Buddy's boys, yes. Right. So I don't know. I like the Jets. You want to root for them. You really do. I don't know why they seem like the underdog all the time, right? They really do. And they've got. It depends who's quarterback too. I mean, old man Flacco. You would be surprised if he has 901 yards, bro. 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's not bad. That's a great stat line. Only 58% completion rate, but man, 901 yards. Think about that. In 3 games, that's not bad. You're averaging 300 yards a game. Not bad at all. Now, why are they there? Is it because they're always losing, having to come from behind? Well, of course, we're not stupid. We know that. But they're not a bad team. Well, I lie if I say that. They're not great, right? They've got good aspects to it. Like they have somewhat of a running game that doesn't look bad. You know, they've got that what's his name? Hall, I don't know his first name, but that rookie running back is not a bad running back. They've got some good receivers. Wilson and Davis aren't bad. I just, Flacco has tons of yardage. He's just old, man. He's old and slow, and he's throwing all those yards because you're coming from behind. And on the flip side, okay, you're playing the Steelers, who, uh, honestly, this is like, if you're a Steelers fan, I'm sorry you're going to have a long season. The Steelers will be out of, oh, we're a great team for like the next 2 to 3 years. They just don't have anything great right now. Your running game is shit. Your quarterback, come on now, he's not doing like bad, but he only has 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. So if 50% is interception, then yeah, you're not doing great. Um, your passing games, there's just nothing special about them. And you lost what the first week.
Mm-hmm.
Your defense isn't great. Your offense isn't great. Like, man, you would think, all right, here come the Jets. A bye week, we win this one because most teams probably think like that. But yeah, Pittsburgh's not one of those teams. I think the Jets will do enough. I think old man Flacco is by far a better quarterback than Trubisky. Um, running game, toss up. They're both okay at running, but the receivers, the same thing. I just think that the Jets defense will probably play a little better, well, a lot better against the shitty passing and that the Steelers have. They don't have a run game. They don't have anything. So how do you lose that game, right? So I'm gonna go with the Jets. Their defense ain't great, but I'm still gonna go with the Jets because I root for the underdog and the Jets win this by 2 points. The game will be 2-0.
So the Jets lost the first week 24-3 to the Ravens in the game that I think the Ravens didn't even game plan for. Then they beat the Browns 31-30 in a like last minute like comeback win. Then they lost to the Bengals 27-12. So to me that's basically 2 blowouts and then one, oh look, we caught fire and we caught a team and caught them from a double digit deficit in that crazy week 2 we had. On the flip side, so I guess to continue the Jets were historically bad last year on defense. Like they gave up over 500 points. They've gotten better, but that just goes you from terrible to bad, maybe even average. Like you're not getting into the good category yet. They did a remarkable job in just patching it up and making it where it's average. So yay, that's good for them. On the flip side, their offense is anemic as well. It's average. It went from bad to average. Flacco probably gives them, I think, a step up at quarterback. He's doing really well. I think 300 yards a game is perfect for them, and I think if it was Wilson, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I think they would be 0-3 and doing a lot less yards per game. On the Steelers, they're playing tough, so that's what I think all the Tomlin teams always do, and I don't know why it does it, why they do it, but they barely lost the Bengals 23-20. They beat the Patriots 17-14. And then they lost to the Browns 29-17. So, 2 games by 5 points, 6 points. And then last week's game loss. I think they're a better team. I am not sold in Trubisky. It's a matter of time before he runs his welcome out. I think the clock is on it, and I want to see what else they do. But I believe in their coach more than the Jets team. So I think the Steelers and the Jets are deadlocked on badness, and I think the coach pulls it out here. So I'm going to go with Steelers.
Jets, Jets. You know where I'm going.
Jets Ripper.
That's on the field. Yeah.
All right, and next up we got the Bills and the Ravens. At the Ravens.
That's your game to watch. That's the game I want to watch, right? Look, I told you, I like watching the Red Zone channel because, when the Cowboys aren't playing, the Cowboys are really the only team I stop and put it on and watch a whole game, right? But this is a game you want to watch, right? I mean, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, this has great stats across the board offensively. Again, offensively. The big difference here is going to be the defense. Offense, they're going to score points, bro. Both teams are going to this is going to be a point score. Well, not really. Not going to be a shootout, and here's why. Lamar is Lamar, and as good as the Bills' defense is, you can't. He's just so hard to plan for, bro, because he's become a better quarterback. The Lamar this season has shown a lot of good stuff. The guy can kill you on his feet at any time. Obviously, he's their leading rusher. Now, is he their leading rusher because they don't have running backs? Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. But that's just his game style. He's got 749 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 2 picks. That just tells you that he can kill you through the air as well. He's dangerous. He's dual threat, but he's dual threat like to the max. I would rather have Lamar than I would Patrick Mahomes any day. He's just, again, one of those other guys who is a running back and a quarterback, but he's a stud running back and a stud quarterback at the same time. You get me? He is a hell of just an athlete, bro. You love him, right? Even though last year he let me down on the fantasy league, but whatever. He had injuries, he had problems. He's healthy right now. He's tearing it up. His running game, non-existent as far as other running backs, but do they need him? He can do both. If he could, he'd throw the ball and catch it too. He hasn't done it yet, but wait, there's still 14 more games to go this season. Now, receiving wise, he's got some pretty good. You got Andrews, obviously a great tight end. Bateman's looking good. He's got the people to throw to. I mean, he's got 10 touchdowns in the air and only 2 picks. So all that said, Lamar is Lamar. Again, it's like your number 1 pick running back, number 1 pick quarterback. Just such a great athlete, and you can't say enough of, right? Now, what does all that mean? Yeah, Miami beat the Bills, but
I just want to say I have no idea. Like, there were so many facts and figures on that one. I have no clue.
Hey, don't worry, I'm closing the loop. It'll all make sense in a second. Point being is this: Lamar is an animal. The Bills' defense looked like, what the hell? Miami just beat them, man. I think the Bills beat themselves, and they'll bounce back from this. They're gonna be pissed in this game. They're coming to prove a point. That defense. Does it matter? Man, tough because Lamar is Lamar. You just can't, he's the next, Jackson 5, and he's all you need. You know what I mean? Like, he is all of the Jackson 5.
Yep.
He is a bad.
Even Tito.
Even Tito, yes. And you've got Allen on the other side. Great quarterback, great everything. Yes, he can also run, not like Lamar, but he's a mover. Quarterback wise, you got if you got 5 stars, I'm giving 5 stars to Lamar and 4 to Allen. Great. Running back wise, again the leading rusher to me in the Bills is Allen. So come on now. Overall, though, you got better receivers. No, they both have good receivers. Diggs is a beast, but this game on paper offensively looks even. The fear factor or the star factor there is going to be Lamar. Defense, yes, the Bills are going to do some defense. Is it going to be enough to stop them? No. I think, and I hate to say this, and it's a weird thing to say, but I think Allen and the Bills are going to lose 2 in a row. Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens are going to beat them. Is it going to be a high scoring game? Yes. I just don't think that the Baltimore Ravens can't stop Allen completely, but they'll do enough, and the Bills won't stop Jackson completely. He will do more. So yes, you heard it here, and I hate to pick against the Bills because I love them, but the Ravens win this one. Lamar.
So the Ripper's going with the Ravens, is what I heard.
In 4,000 words or more, yes.
Yes. Yeah, that was not a short and sweet. It's like 15 players, right? That's what the Bills are down this in the 4th week of the season. Knox is on the injury list now. Davis was out last week. Hyde's gone. We talked about this in week 1. A lot of teams look really good week 1 and then can get to week 17 and they're a shell of themselves. And the Bills look like they're going down that road. You just can't keep in the NFL. You just can't keep taking loss after loss after loss. And they didn't have that explosiveness last week with the Dolphins, and the Dolphins are a good defense. But the Bills defense didn't show up, and maybe that's the first crack from Hyde. So I see all the things you said are right. I don't see the Bills losing 2 in a row though. And I can't see Lamar Jackson Lamaring his way to a victory, even though he does it all the time. And if the Bills want to be the top seed in the AFC, if they want to get to the Super Bowl, and they want to excise their demons, I think this is a game they have to win. And so all the pressure's on them. I don't think the pressure's on the Ravens the same way. So I'm going with the Bills. Although I will say that there are a few injuries away from ruining what could have been a really special season for Buffalo.
I hate picking against the Bills, bro. I really do like that team and I root for them, but I honestly think that Baltimore is just with injuries and all, and Lamar being able to beat you on the ground or the air. Yeah, the only thing missing is Lamar throwing himself an 80-yard bomb. So yeah, Lamar.
Which if he could do that, that would be neat if he could set that up for us. All right, next you got the Chargers playing the Texans.
Ugh. Look, I'm gonna say it here. You're gonna freak out, and I hate to pick the freaking Texans. And I'm not gonna go long on this one. I'm picking the Texans. Yes, I like Herbert, but the Texans, do they look good stat wise? No, sucky defense, sucky offense. There's just something going on in Texas that I think they're going to upset the Chargers. They're going to run Pierce a lot more. And I was big on him also in pre-draft at fantasy football. I think that now they're going to let him loose and he's going to tear it up. Yes, David Mills. 662, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. I don't know. Call it women's intuition. I don't know. I just have this feeling that the Texans are going to explode. It's not based on stats, because based on stats, this would be considered a stupid effing pick, obviously. I'll call it on my own self since I haven't called on anyone.
Can you throw a flag on yourself?
It's upset city, baby. You heard it here first. Upset city. I think the Texans are not as bad as you think they are, honestly. I think they just, I don't know, man. There's something about the Texans that you want to call them losers all the time. And in Texas, Cowboy fans hate Texan fans, and we talk shit to each other in each loss. I don't know what it is. I love the Chargers. I don't think that they're gonna lose. I don't want them to say they're gonna lose 2 in a row, but Texans are gonna upset them, bro. Stupid effing pick maybe, but that's my feeling. And today on this one, since I don't really care about this game, I do, but I'm gonna go gut feeling. I just have a gut feeling the Texans are gonna do something special because Herbert is going to be hurt,
and that is a fact that he's going to be hurt. However, his hurt is still 300 yards, 3 touchdowns,
Correct.
1 pick. The Chargers are a much better team than the Texans, and the Texans are they're to me they're the little engine that could. Like they were supposed to be terrible last year, and they weren't terrible. They were just bad. This year they've gone from bad to average. So I think, and I think if Herbert's healthy, this is one of those. Oh, it's like 50-3. But again, the NFL doesn't allow things like that to happen. So you're probably right. It's closer than that. I am going to go with the Chargers though.
Well, there's not much more to say other than Ripper's picking a gut pick, and it's a stupid effing pick. But he's going with the Texans for some reason.
Yep. All true.
Someone have to make it interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Would I put money on it? No.
But would you put the money on it that DraftKings gives you that you can lose?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
why not? If you're paying house money and the odds are like 1,000-1, like, hey, I'll put $10 on it. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Next up, we got our favorite little munchkin playing against the Carolina Panthers.
We are the little people.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Oompa Loompa isn't bad. Man, there's something about the Arizona Cardinals that you look at them and go like, how are they not winning more games, right? Like, obviously they have a good running staff in my opinion. Connors right now is a little banged up, so he's running weird. When they get back, what's his face? They're gonna tear it up, bro.
That what's his face is Mr. Hopkins.
Correct. You're gonna give little people a target to really throw at, and that's gonna open up what's his face also from the used to be the Red Brown, right? Marquise Brown.
Yes. Mr. 50-50 ball.
50-50, yes. And when Hopkins come back 50-50, he's going to get a lot more 50-50 chances. And he's still going to be 50-50, but he's going to have like 10 50-50 passes in one game. So he'll catch 5 for 300 yards.
But, well, and it's going to be those second down plays and first down plays that it doesn't matter that he dropped it. That's the difference.
Take those shots.
Yeah.
Because Hopkins is that dangerous. And then they have someone else over there, that Dortch kid, man. He's doing pretty good too, to be honest. I picked him up, but he's not doing too bad. When you look at this team, though, even Murray's not 784 yards, only 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. But again, he's litter, and him running the game, he's one big 350-pound lineman away from no more career, right? I mean, someday someone's gonna eat him up like the little man he is, and it's gonna hurt. But that day isn't here yet. Now, on the flip side, he's playing the Panthers, which I believe that Cleveland is a place quarterbacks go to die. Somehow, some Game of Thrones wicked red devil bullshit happened, and Baker Mayfield survived Cleveland, and he's back pretending to be a quarterback. They have McCaffrey, yes, but he hasn't done a lot. I mean, he has 50 attempts, 240.
Except for last game. Last game we broke out.
Correct, and he will have his yardage. He's McCaffrey, bro, but. Look, if you can corral McCaffrey because Baker Mayfield can't do shit, what does that tell you? Does that tell you that Arizona's defense can stop him? Yes. I do think that the defense in Arizona is way better than anything Baker's seen so far. I think that Baker is Baker. They're going to corral McCaffrey. Baker will throw for about 42 interceptions, maybe 41, maybe 18. But still,
maybe around 50?
Yeah, maybe. He's going to throw his picks because he's Baker. And McCaffrey will get his yardage, but it's not enough to win this game. I think Arizona's defense is up there. Little people, man, will do enough to win it as well with Dortch and 50-50 boy and all that good stuff. So keeping it simple and short, I think that the defense for Arizona wins this one for them. I think they'll stop Baker Mayfield, and I think little people will score enough points. Maybe I'm going to give Arizona scoring somewhere in the 14 to 10 point range to win this game because, they'll. What's his name? McCaffrey will get his 1 touchdown. It's about 3,000 yards, but they'll still lose. So Arizona.
And that's one of the hard things. So when you look at these games, especially ones like this, they're both 1-2. Um, they're they're both struggling. It's who's in those games. Quite frankly, it's down to a field goal kick at the end, right? Um, what what I believe is the Cardinals team last year lost Hopkins. They lost one of their best wide receivers they had with Christian Kirk when we signed him. So there's a lot of turmoil. And when Hopkins comes back, it's slots, right? Because Hopkins is a number one. So then you move Brown to number two or number three. Like it all makes pecking order sense. But right now it doesn't make sense because you've got Brown, who's not the best. He's not a number one. So now you're not double covering the number one, you're single covering the number one. And that means you can give someone good on number two, and it's a domino effect, right? The Cardinals offense looks off. I think when Hopkins comes back, give him a week for rust, maybe two, it's going to be a different story. Which is why I picked him up in everywhere, because I'm like, hey, I can get a number one wide receiver in the seventh round. On the flip side, the Panthers, McCaffrey is starting to do that. He sort of shakes the rust off too, and he's starting to come back. And last game was the first one that looked like Christian McCaffrey. When he's dynamic and on, he is great. So in my eyes, I see a Cardinals offense that's dysfunctional and a Panthers offense that at least has an identity, right? Give the ball to the running back. And make Baker don't throw to the team that's colored red. Like, if they can do that, I think Carolina wins. Um, I think at the end of the year, the Cardinals are going to come on a little bit with Hopkins, but I think right now their offense is going to hold them back. So I'm going to go with the Panthers.
Defense scores touchdown. Cardinals win. Thank you, Baker. Now go back to Cleveland.
So Ripper's got the Cardinals, or he's got the Panthers. Um,
Wow, did I pick two big upsets today?
I don't know.
I did. I went against the Bills and the Chargers. Wow.
You didn't. You haven't. You've picked those teams. You haven't got them yet. So, all right. Next up, we've got. The Patriots at the Packers.
This game, honestly, you'd be like, wow, I gotta watch this game. And you'd think like this is a game to watch. The problem is Tom Brady's no longer there, so yeah, not interested.
Well, Mac Jones might not be there either.
Yeah, I heard. He's hurt for sure. Even with him there, bro, he's got 2 touchdowns and 5 picks. Come on now. The running backs, they're not bad. Good running backs. Like, they have some good yardage between the both of them. The running game's okay, but receivers, they got Nelson Aguilar as their leading receiver. That should tell you enough, right? It's just not a good team right now for the Patriots. Belichick or not, I don't believe it's a good team. Missing Mac Jones makes it even worse. I'm pretty sure he's out. What, you heard his ankle or something?
Yeah. They said multiple weeks.
Yeah, he's out. Who's their backup?
Who is their backup?
That guy. Yeah.
I mean, it's that good.
Yeah, exactly. Easy win for the Packers, bro. I think Aaron Rodgers. He just finished beating Tom Brady. Now he's going to Tom Brady. He went and shat on Tom Brady's living room right now, and then he said, "You know what? That wasn't good enough. I'm going to go to your old house and shat in that living room too."
It's Brian Hoyer, for those of you that care who the backup is.
Hoyer. I haven't heard that name in a while. Didn't he play for the Texans also?
Yeah, I think he played for the Browns. He played. Who? The question is, who has he not played for, baby?
Correct. So yeah, you can call him 50-50 also. 50-50 chance at making the next team. So yeah, it's pretty easy, bro. The running game for the Packers is stronger. The passing game is stronger. You have Aaron Rodgers. There's no doubt on this one. I'm not going to pull a stupid upset. Probably shouldn't have picked the other 2 stupid picks, but I'm not going stupid on this one. I'm going with the Packers. I know. How do you follow that up, right?
I don't think it's possible. I'm just gonna be like, yeah. So I do think it was funny that how the game, and this is at Lambeau too. I thought it was funny how the game worked out last week. Um, Basically, 14-12 in NFL speak is a nothing. But poor poor Tom Brady. That offense. I guess the narrative after the fact is that Tom Brady doesn't isn't throwing for 400 yards a game and this that and that. And I'm like, he's without all the weapons he had. He doesn't have Gronk anymore. You can tell that impacts him. He didn't have Evans last week. There's people hurt. So it's amazing that and then if you look, I don't know who had the worst wide receivers, but I still think it might have been the Packers. Like the Packers wideouts are terrible. Um, and yet Rodgers, kind of got up in that game and then just did enough to win. So he's an amazing quarterback. That's why he is Aaron Rodgers. This Patriots team, even if they had Tom Brady, it would be just as bad as the Tampa game. There's nothing here. There's a couple tight ends, and for whatever reason, he's not just running the ball every down, because that's what I just put the heavy offense out there and run the ball every time, because you're not gonna win. That being said, you don't have a lot of film on Hoyer. Maybe he's done some some off-season workouts and he throws one of those rare games, but the Packers should dominate in this game and win it. So never bet the Packers the first week of the season, but after that you're pretty solid to take them.
So you're taking the Packers too?
I'm taking the Packers.
Alrighty then. 5 out of check.
We got the bad teams of the AFC West, which are the Broncos and the Raiders.
All right. I'll start by saying this.
Which one are you more disappointed in?
Frick is going on with the exactly what's going on with the Raiders? Like, what the frick? See, I'm trying to hold back.
I see you're doing good.
I just don't understand what's going on. You went and you got what's his face, Adams. And you would think, all right, this kid, he's Adams, right? Yeah, well, you don't have Aaron Rodgers, but you think Derek Carr, he's not bad. Stat wise, 60%. He has 850 yards, 6 TDs, 4 interceptions. Fine. I don't know what it is about the Raiders. It's just so disappointing right now. I thought they would be, killing it, honestly. Is it their defense? Maybe. The defense isn't doing freaking great. And that puts you at a point where you got to start scoring more points than your average or more points than you're used to. Okay. I don't really think it's Derek Carr. 4 picks, 6 touchdowns isn't great, but, you're 3 games in. A little more average than 1 pick a game. It's not great either. He's got weapons. This Hollins kid has really emerged out of nowhere, and he's going to keep doing great things as well, honestly. I think the receiving core is good. Their rushing team, I think that's where your biggest problem is a little bit. But man, you've got weapons to throw to. It's hard to put your finger on the Raiders and say, man, this is what's wrong. If you had to blame someone, I would blame their defense. If you watch their games, obviously. On the flip side of that, you look at the Broncos and go, all right, well, Russell Wilson, shit, that was millions of dollars not well spent. Right now, is it going to get better for Russell? Man, honestly, look, I hate to say this, but I think Russell's time as a starting quarterback will come to an end soon enough. And it sucks to say that, but he's just, maybe it's the new system, right? Maybe it's the elevation, right? I have no idea. Maybe it's the legal weed in Colorado, and Russell's just been enjoying the goodies too much. I don't know, but he does not look good. Not to me, anyways. He's got 743 yards, 2 touchdowns in the pick. I mean, think about that. Russell Wilson, 2 touchdowns in 3 games. Like, that's a bit odd, ain't it? He's got a great running game there. Melvin Gordon and Williams are not doing too bad. He's got receivers to throw to. So what is the problem here? I don't know, man. They're just a mediocre team with Russell Wilson. They were a mediocre team before also without him, right? I mean, they haven't been good since they went to the Super Bowl. Let's be honest. It's just hard to put your finger on either one of these teams. And you're right, the shitty teams, right? it's kind of a toss up here. The way I'm gonna pick this game, and I have to, is fantasy relevance, right? In the Raiders, you've got Carr, who fantasy relevance as a quarterback. He's not your top 10, but if you had to pick one, I'd rather pick him than Russell Wilson right now. Running backs, that's where I think the difference is for the Raiders. The running backs aren't great. Jacobs should be good, but he's not doing great, especially on a contract year, right?
Yeah.
You would think he'd tear it up.
Yeah, I did think that.
Yeah, yeah, I know you did. And you preached to me about it. Receiving wise, man, they've got good receivers. Hollins and Adams should tear it up. Renfro's hurt, doesn't matter. Hollins is great. They only get better when Renfro comes back. They got Water at tight end. There's a lot of pluses that the Raiders have. Their defense, however, the defense lacks. I don't know if it's big names or just athletes in general. Their defense isn't great, not in my opinion, and not in the numbers either, right?
Correct.
You look at the Broncos and it's all right. Well, Russell Wilson, great. Let's send him to Cleveland next year. The running game's great. He's got good receivers, and it's not necessarily that their defense sucks. It's just there's something about that team and Russell Wilson. It's like, man, you bring a quarterback in, right? Especially a veteran quarterback. You think he's bringing leadership and this and that. It just doesn't seem like that with that team, man. It really doesn't. Something's off with the Denver Broncos, and the only thing you can say is, well, who's here new? Who's new? Freaking Russell, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to put the blame on Russell. I'm going to say the Raiders are going to come out of a funk, and they're going to win this one, and Russell will soon be packing his bag to go to Cleveland because the 0-3 Raiders beat the shit out of him with a shitty defense. So Raiders.
The Raiders. So the Broncos have given up the third fewest passing yards. They've given up the sixth fewest rushing yards. That the defense is legitimate. The offense is not. So on the flip side, the Raiders have a problem running the ball and keeping their quarterback upright. So if that holds true to form, I think the Broncos should have a field day with the Raiders. But I don't trust Wilson is the problem. So this is going to be one of those close games. And it's really hard to bet against all the weapons the Raiders have. They're also under all the expectations of being 0-3. So someone's going to save their neck for a week. And is it the question is it going to be the Raiders and Derek Carr, or is it going to be Russell Wilson? And I'm putting my money on the better defense and Russell Wilson this week. Although the 11 points last week did not endear me to that choice.
You better hope the defense scores some freaking points.
Could happen.
Because Russell ain't.
That appears what's happening. Okay, we have an awesome game, I think, in Kansas City playing the Buccaneers.
Ah, man, look. Tom Brady didn't look good against the Green Bay Packers, bro. He really didn't. And you're right. He was missing weapons. Sure. There's got to come a time, Warty, that the devil decides to say, hey, Tom Brady, I'm just not extending your contract, Dud. I already took your chick. She left. She's banging some Brazilian guy in Brazil, So I think everything's falling apart for Tom Brady, bro. I think his mind is. Look, bro, think about it. If whatever you do in your career now, I know you sell nuclear bombs or whatever the fuck you do. I don't know. Oh, wait, is that Stryker? My bad.
Yeah, that's Stryker.
So, whatever you do in your career, you're good at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You think so? They pay you for it. They pay you well, so you should be good at it. Your wife and your kids decide to say, fuck you, Dad, I'm out. Does that fuck with your head?
Yes.
All right. That's what's going on with Mr. Brady right now. And he called his buddy the devil and said, hey, what can you do? He says, hey, look, she's got a better contract with me, bro. Sorry, bye. Because that chick stays beautiful and she's been at the game forever, right? I would still, put her up on the roof, if you know what I mean. I kept it clean. So Tom Brady's going through some mental shit, bro. I really do think he does. I think it's affecting his game. Did he have weapons? Yeah. You want to think he's a professional. He's gonna do great. Man, look, he's been at this game for a long time, and now he's having personal problems or whatever. Who knows if his chick's doing whatever there's so many different tabloid stories, right? Who knows? They said Tom Brady has a little one. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't gone to check, but he's going through some mental shit, and it affects his game, bro. And there's a comes a point in time where he's just thinking like, fuck it, I'm too old for this shit already. Everyone's gonna lose a step eventually. Has he lost it this year, man? You want to say that it looks like it, right? Like he was missing weapons. Okay, give him that. Well, he gets back Evans this week, so on and so forth. But I think Mahomes and the Chiefs are too much for him. I think Brady's mental state isn't in it in the way it needs to be for him to perform at the level he should perform. I think his personal problems are playing just trouble with him, and I think that's just what's going to be. I honestly think that if he doesn't fix his personal life, that Brady will definitely retire this year. One, and two, he may not even finish the season, bro. You heard it here first. Yes, breaking news. The NFL fat guy told you right now. But anyways, Chiefs win it. Uh, I think the Chiefs bounce back as well. I think that Patrick Mahomes is a freaking athlete. Obviously, I think they have a good running game. They have good receivers. I don't think the Bucs are in it 100% without. It may be time for someone to step in for Brady. I don't know, but I'm going to take the Chiefs on this one. I'm not even going to get into the stat lines because the stat lines aren't great either way. I mean, they're not bad. Let's look at Brady now. You got me. Well, Mahomes is 857 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 1 pick. What does that tell you, right? Brady's at 673, 3 touchdowns and a pick. 3 touchdowns, man. 3 games. Well, did he play the first game? He did, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not great for a Brady, man. So to keep it short, I think the mental state of Brady is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and the Chiefs win. Defense.
I knew last week that he didn't have the weapons that he needed to beat Rodgers. I knew that. He still came close. It's a team that is still one of the top teams in the NFC. Any way you slice it, and they're now 2-1. On the flip side, you got one of the top teams in the AFC, and they're 2-1, and they have one of the most dynamic quarterbacks. But he's also lost to Brady like three out of 4 times. So, the Chiefs gave away the game last week. It is what it is what it is. They gave it away. They played terrible on special teams, and they turned the ball over, and they made mistakes. You hate to bet against Brady. You hate to bet against Brady when Evans comes back, but I think the Chiefs are going to go in there and beat them. I can see I can see scenarios where the Bucs just beat the Chiefs, but in my head I'm imagining that Mahomes is going to get the ball back, and I would bet on Mahomes over Brady at this point. Just like you said, I don't know if he's lost a step. I don't know if it's all the mental stuff, but he doesn't look the same that he has in the past. So, Chiefs for us. And then we're going to finish off the week with the LA Rams and the San Francisco 49ers.
The Rams.
The Rams.
Man, another weird pick here. Not really, I don't think, but the Rams just don't look like the team they should be, right? I mean, think about it. They should be a great team right now. They didn't lose players. I mean, they lost some on defense, right?
Yeah, they lost Von Miller. They also lost Beckham.
Yeah, well, I guess. You still have Cooper Cup. You still have Cooper Cup looks great. The one who isn't looking great is Stafford. Another one that's looking his age, man. These old quarterbacks, they gotta go and retire someday or move to Cleveland, one or the other. But that's starting to show some kind of light, right? Stafford's not looking great. He's not looking bad either. I mean, his completion rate is great, but his touchdown to interception is horrible. Defensively, the Rams look horrible, bro. They don't have a running game. Defensively, they have an okay running game, but defensively, they look horrible. They really do. On the flip side of that, the 49ers and Garoppolo. What can you say about Garoppolo that you don't want to say Garoppolo? It's Garoppolo. They kept him for a reason. Lance broke his leg in 18 pieces or whatever happened to Lance. Garoppolo stood in. I mean, what is he, 2 games so far?
No, first game. Well, game and change, right?
Because he's 365, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Not great, but it's a game and a half. Too bad. The running game is okay. You know, you got Tebow, you got Ayuk. Tebow, sorry. Samuel. I don't know why I said Tebow. What's his name?
Debo. Debo Samuel.
Tebow, not Tebow.
Not Tebow.
You know what I meant? Running back / receiver / athlete. I don't know, man. It's hard to pick this game. Neither one of these teams really impress, if you get what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be a good Monday night game because it's the Rams against the 49ers. It's a game to watch. I think it'll have plenty of great highlights. I'm waiting for Debo to do his thing because he needs to do his thing because I have him in a money league and he really needs to do his thing. But I do think that eventually Debo is going to start breaking out. So is Ayuk. Ayuk's a pretty good receiver, man.
Yep.
I think that the defense for the 49ers is probably a lot better than the Rams. I think that's going to make a big difference as well. And you're going to see Stafford show his age again and think, man, maybe I should move to Cleveland. I wish I was back in Detroit. Something along those lines. I wish I was throwing to the Egyptian receiver. It's going to be bad. I think the 49ers defense makes a big difference in this game. And I think Debo Samuels finally shows up the way he needs to. And I'm going to take the Niners, man. Niners.
So the 49ers have given it, they're number one. They've only given it 445 yards in the air. On the rushing side, they are sitting at fourth with 236 yards. Trey Lance was not very good. Jimmy G, this basically is his preseason, the last game and a half. On the flip side, there is no offense in LA right now. It is Cooper Kupp getting a lion's share of passes, and he's doing a lot with that, but it's not enough. Like you just can't keep forcing the ball to Cooper every single time, and no one else is. I thought that Robinson would thrive in the system, and he is not doing it. Their running game isn't going anywhere. The 49ers are way too talented, and the fact that they I expect Garoppolo to start making progress. So this is hopefully the week that he does it. I can see the Rams stealing this game if he's making mistakes still. But at some point you get the rust off, you start getting back in the offense, and it starts clicking. And this 49ers defense is built to win now. So I'm going with the 49ers.
The Niners.
The Niners. And you are as well.
Yes.
All right.
It'll be a good one, man. It should be a good week of football, bro. I think there's going to be some good games. I think there's going to be some upsets, huge upsets that I picked, and we're probably wrong. But you never know. I think Sunshine's going to hear my words. He watches your YouTube videos. I know it.
I'm sure he's one of the 7, so
It's
appreciate
motivational.
Yeah.
I'm just motivating Sunshine for you, bro. I mean, come on. But it's going to be a good week of football again, bro. Obviously, but let's see what happens, man. I think it's going to be somewhat of a surprising week for some teams.
All right. Pleasure as always. Thanks very much.
All right, buddy. See you later.
You have a great night.
Are we off?
We are now.
It's a good one. It's bad.